Hello friend, welcome back to Total Maintenance YouTube channel. What is the first thing you should check when you are buying used car? The fluids, right? Especially the engine oil, transmission fluid and so on. This is manual transmission, so that will be later. But let's go look on that condition of this engine oil on this 2005 Scion Tc, which I bought from the Copart. You can see here under the hood that pretty common and famous 2AZFE, right? That's a model number of the engine. And what you can see also that it's a VVTi system, right? And that means that is variable timing which is being ran by the engine oil. What that means? It better be clean. So when I bought it, right, I checked this cap. That's always great indicator if everything's fine with it, and there's no heavy sludge or anything, right? So this is great. But if you pull the dipstick and look on the engine oil, look at it. Extremely dark brown. It's definitely burned. It's old and it better be replaced ASAP. So I left that dipstick on the table over there. I will leave this cap just freely sitting here. So when I will start draining oil from the engine, there's no vacuum, right? And it can nicely keep coming out. I warm up also the engine, right? The oil is hot and it will be perfectly flowing out of the engine oil pan. So let's go and do it. Coming from the driver's side, I mentioned the transmission, right? This one is manual. So we will do in the future. This is the drain, 34 millimeter. And this is the filler, so it will be in different video. Today we are doing engine oil. So this is the oil pan drain plug. And where is the filter? Perfectly located right here. So let's go and get that old oil out. And I could just catch it in this used oil catching device, right? But I want to actually see the condition of this engine oil. So I will have an extra pan so we can do some little evaluation. And I clean that pan, right? So there's no remaining residue from previous job. And all we need right now, that 14 millimeter, right? All Toyotas, you need a 14 millimeter socket to break loose that drain bolt and continue with this oil change. This one was pretty tight. The whole car is shaking on the lift, but fortunately it didn't fall on me. I didn't rip it off the lift, so we are good. The drain bolt is coming out. The washer is sticking to the oil pan. That's normal. You just have to pay attention to that, right? And let's go. Boom! And that's black. That's really old. I knew that. But yeah, sometimes if you pull the dipstick, you might think, oh, it's still okay. When it's brown on the dipstick, no, that means it's actually in really bad shape, as you see it right here. And trust me, I wish I have a time of my life or in my life to go ahead and look and answer all the comments underneath the videos. I look at them, but running this business, right, this shop and doing YouTube, it takes so much time that I don't have time to answer every single comment underneath the videos. I wish I'm in the situation that the YouTube, it's my income, it's my only living, right? And then in this case, I will communicate better with you. But at this moment, this is the way it is. I just don't have enough time in 24 hours to sit and answer every single comment. So I'm sorry, but it is what it is. So let's continue with that filter. And like most of Toyota engines, the filter is very close to this oil pan, right? So this whole catching system I have here if I move it slightly, it's still dripping in from the oil pan, but I can undo that filter and it will be also being caught in this pan. So you don't need two pans for this oil change. And let's see if the previous technician or mechanic did a good job and the filter is installed correctly and it's not over tight. I should be able to remove it by the hand only. And bravo, I'm happy to report to you that whoever did that didn't over tight it. I can undo it, right? I believe it's a friend because it has that black coarse material on the bottom. So what I do, I just slightly undo it and let that oil drip. Alright, that's how we deal with it to minimize any possible mess. The oil always stops dripping from that oil filter after a few minutes. So now if I remove it, I'm minimizing any mess, right? The spills on me or that engine oil pan and so on. Here you hopefully can see that was some kind of Fram XG4967 filter. Let me show you the detail of that filter housing. That's where the filter was screwed on, right? So I will clean that with a clean rag. I will be ready to screw on the new filter. So that mount area, it's perfectly clean. I have a new filter here ready. It's always advisable, right, to lubricate this rubber, ideally with the new oil, but I will use just tiny bit of the old one. Today I'm not using Toyota filter because I had no time to go to see Toyota. Also, my plan with this vehicle is to basically flush this oil, right? Flush it with the normal engine oil, what we will do today, and I will just drive it for a short distance, maybe only 1,000 miles, and I will redo this procedure, this engine oil and filter change. I will do it very soon. I just bought this vehicle, right? I want to get rid of that old nasty stuff. So this is my so-called flush. Now what you see, I'm not using any tools, only by the hand I'm tightening that engine oil filter. I know it will not fall off and it also won't leak. And look how much oil is still coming and dripping out of that oil pan. I'm here, or it's open already like 15 minutes. It doesn't matter, it still keeps running. Here you can hopefully nicely see detail of that crusher washer, right, which is around that drain bolt. The dark blue color tells me that this originally came from Toyota. And here is the blue color, right, the new one. You can see how it looks like. This is after approximately 35 minutes. It still drips, right, but I don't have a time to be here forever. So there is the new crusher washer, right? You can see nice and shiny that edge. And again, 14 millimeter socket, right? I will use a small ratchet not to over tight it and do it like this. If you want to have it absolute perfect, you can use the torque wrench, and that will be 33 foot-pounds or 40 Newton meters. I can feel this is perfect for me. We can finally look together on that engine oil. What do you think? Is it really black? Here I have the oil in the pan, so what do you say? I think it's nasty, and it was definitely too late, right? That should have been replaced sooner. As I said, I just bought a vehicle. There wasn't any sticker on the windshield to see how long people driven it, but I'm very happy that this is out, and as I said, I will do that oil change, but probably after like 1,000 miles of driving this engine and this car, I will redo it once again. Here you can have another second look on that engine oil, right? This is definitely way past too bad and should have been replaced long time ago. So we have drain plug installed, we have new engine oil filter installed. Now I can finally continue up here. This is that great product, right? Screw on filter. Hopefully you can see all the details. So that will prevent any spills. I already removed this cover. There was basically baked engine oil, right, from all those spills when people don't use the funnel. So it was all over there. I scraped it off with the razor blade and cleaned it with vacuum, right? It's already cleaned. I will be observing the valve cover gasket if it's leaking or not. I rechecked the torque on the bolts, right? Sometimes they get loose and that's why the gasket can be leaking. So let's continue with this oil change. Not long time ago I did video on this channel on this Costco 5W30 full synthetic engine oil. Since I own this vehicle, let's try to use it on this oil change. If you read owner's manual, this 2AZFE 4-cylinder, right, when you are replacing the engine oil filter, takes 4 quarts of the 5W30. It takes conventional oil, but this full synthetic should be even better, right? So let's pour 4 quarts in, and in certain way test this oil, right? The price is shockingly, right? You are getting that full synthetic from Costco for the price of conventional. This 1 quart costs approximately somewhere like $250, $260. So that's unbelievable. Right now I need to go down to the still one more. And I will basically kind of flush this engine with it. I will use it only for a short distance because, right, this is that variable valve timing. I want to clean all those passages. I want to have only clean and good oil inside. This really worries me, right? I was already peeking inside if those cams and everything is clean, but actually looking through here, it looks in pretty good shape. Also, don't forget, right, one of the great indicators is in this cap. If there was any sludge or heavy buildup, there will be immediately alarm and red flags, but it was really clean when I opened it. So this is a great news for longevity of this 4-cylinder engine. This is 5 quart can. I'm touching right here on the last quart left, right? So I know I poured 4 quarts, and I will use the dipstick, which I have clean here, right? It's dry, and I will measure where I am, and I bet you I'm above the full, slightly above, and that's perfect. That's not a problem, right? If you look with me, it's very slightly above that F. So this is perfect, because when we will start up the engine, the oil will spread through the whole system and the level will be actually perfectly at the full. So I'm ready to remove all this stuff. By the way, this engine is incredible with this 5-speed. It revs so quickly. I was in the last 3-4 months driving 2 Subarus. One of them is Forester, one of them is Impreza RS. This feels like a sleepy engine, that 2.5 liter Boxer, in comparison with this one, right? Comparable, they are 4 cylinders. This revs so quickly, it's absolute pleasure to drive this. I can't wait to have it all legal, finished, and show you how fast this is. And yeah, this one is 2.4 liter, right? And these two cars, that's what I was talking about. Forester S and Impreza RS, they have 2.5 liter Boxer engine. After doing oil change like this, right, it's good practice to start up the vehicle, let it run for a while. First observe the engine oil, the low pressure light. Where is it on this car? It's right there. So that's the first thing. It needs to go away really quickly after startup. But you see, it was like second, so that's excellent. After that, you can go and check for possible leaks, right? You didn't forget. So you are looking, oh, this is not leaking, dipstick is here. You also look underneath the vehicle if nothing is leaking down there. So I put here on windshield this sticker, right, to remind me in approximately 1,000 miles that I will be redoing it, since I just bought it and it was so dirty. I did reset that maintenance system, which reminds you in 5,000 miles. How you do that? Well, if you have it in odometer, right, it's in this one. This is the odometer, right, not the A1 or the B, it's in this one. So you basically hold this button while you are entering the key and putting it on, and it resets that entire system. So this is all done. And that's basically it for this engine oil and filter change, right? Everything is done, everything's ready. And I will film way more videos on this vehicle, so make absolutely sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss any of these. Thank you for watching and have a great day, my friend.